Hello, everyone. Welcome. Today is Monday, June 6, 2022. I am Solid Blue Sister, and this is My Turn to Talk. Welcome, Petty Deb and Brina. You guys actually popped up together. But Petty Deb, you still inched it out. You're number one. Brina, number two. Heiko, number three. Forgive me for being late, but Podbean just did not want to cooperate. Welcome, Ziller. Welcome. Welcome, BFZ. Whoever you may be. Ninja Bunny, hey, how are you? And welcome anyone who joins us on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Welcome. Scared you? Why? What scared you, Ziller? Welcome, Mama Bear Tracy. Welcome, Ba. Hello. Ninja Bunny says, Brina, my beautiful friend, how are you? Ziller, I'm always late. And it's usually I'm always late, but today it was Podbean. Chill Will, welcome. Mr. A, welcome. Okay, we're going to get started. We are going to get started today. Okay, so today we're going to talk about catfishing. What are you hiding? And all right, Jill, you can come up, but hold on. What are you hiding? And, also want to talk about, why are you afraid to show the real you? Is being a catfish the same as an internet troll? So those are the things that I would like to talk about. Welcome, let's see, Mr. A, welcome, Power Girl. So, hold on. You guys are asking to come up, and I want you to mute yourselves, and I ask everyone to mute themselves. So I don't want anyone to take anything. I ask everyone to mute themselves when they come up. So, Lou Rock, welcome. Okay, so, I don't know if, I'm pretty sure a lot of you have, but maybe for those who haven't, if you guys have seen the TV show Catfish, and catfishing is basically where you present yourself as someone you are not to someone. Usually is via the internet on Facebook or whatever, and they ask you to send in a photo, you send in someone else, you totally take on this whole different persona. And my question is, what are you hiding? And we have people who are and internet trolls do the same thing. Welcome Bully. Internet trolls do the same thing. To me, internet trolls are the same thing as catfishing. And the thing about it is, sometimes people think we don't know who they are, but we really do. And we'll let things just play out, just to see how things happen, or what someone's going to do. But why do you think people catfish? Why do you think people are internet trolls? Is it that they feel that they will not be accepted? Are they just a bully? Are they stalking you? Are they looking to do you harm? Why do people catfish? And then if you're catfishing someone that you supposedly like, don't you think that one day that person, the other person on the other end of the spectrum, is going to want to meet you or know who you are? Or do people think that it's okay, that person will never ever find out who I am? But the thing is, people do. So those are my questions. So, Chill, you are first. So, what would you like to say? Chill, you there?
All right, I'm there. I'm
Okay,
here.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You when things
Hey,
pop up
yeah.
on Pod being slow. So,
Mm-hmm. Hey, y'all, what's happening, everybody? So Dillis can go next. I'll go second.
okay, Ziller.
Oh, thank God, I've been waiting for this one. I think they're lonely. They are, or they might just do it for just stupid reasons. Um, yeah, or they just want attention as well. Um, co- um, I was talking to my dad about I saw your topic this morning, and my dad. I wish my dad was into Podbean, but he's not. But he liked your topic very much. Unfortunately, Grandpa's 4 hours away, so he's not here. But anyways, that's what I think. Go ahead, so chill or solid. And
Okay.
hey, solid.
Hello, Ziller. Okay, Chill.
You ain't say hi to me, Solid.
I did say hi to you.
No, you didn't. I didn't hear you.
Well, hello, Chill.
Hey, everybody. I'm gonna give you a hard time. I heard you.
I know.
Um, so when it comes to catfishing, obviously, first of all, if you're on Twitter, I don't think that's the same. I think that's trolling and catfishing. I guess is in the same realm, but if you're trolling, you don't know who those people are on the internet. Now, if you're dating somebody that you ain't never seen before, you don't know. That's why it's called catfishing, right? Because you don't know. You don't know what they look like. You don't know what they act like. You don't know really. I mean, that's pod beans for real, for real. I think that's probably 85% of pod beans in some cases. Maybe less, but that's I mean, it's security, right? So you're insecure about whatever you bring to the table. So you create a persona to seem um better, or it could just be I want to keep my my information, my person undisclosed, so I can really either talk like I want to talk or just talk. Just I mean, just for fun, create ruckus. You know what I'm saying? Without being identified. So it just might be like a what's the word? It's fun, for lack of better terminology that I can't think of. It's just like for fun, they bored and they ain't got nothing else to do but mess with people, and so that's the thing too. So people have their own reasons. Say for instance, Durant, he had a burner account on Twitter, and he would, and we found out, right? Kevin Durant, that is, and it was embarrassing, and he was talking trash and saying all types of crazy stuff. But and that's what people have to do when they're not really secure or they just don't want to be out front about something, you know. And I think it's normal because we get catfish in our daily life. You can meet a guy and still be getting. You can meet him in front of his face, and he's still catfishing your ass.
This is true. This is true. But I see catfishing, and I'm sorry, but I do see catfishing internet trolls as the same thing because, why do you have to have a like this? Why do you have to have an account to not to let people know who you are? And the thing is a lot of times when people have those accounts, sooner or later people will figure it out, or sometimes they know who those people are, right on day one. So when you're catfishing someone that you supposedly like on Facebook, you see someone and start a conversation with them, and then it turns into something else, and all of a sudden, you really like this person, whatever. Again, I say, don't you think the other person on the other end is going to want to meet you? One day they're going to want to say, hey, let's meet halfway, or, I'll be in town, whatever. Do you want to hook up? And the thing about it is, if you say, I'll be out of town that day, or I have to, my mom is sick, or, my daughter is sick or whatever. Those excuses only go so far. Sooner or later, you're going to be outed, whether you're catfishing someone that you supposedly like, or if you're an internet troll. I mean, and like Chill said, in Pop Popping, we have a lot of trolls. I have one major troll. You know, they think I don't know, but I know. So um, you know, why do people want to hide? I mean, what's the big deal? Anybody? And welcome Sharon and welcome DJ Mix Master and Sunshine. So Ziller?
I'll tell. Um, I'll just say, I'm a big target. I've been a big target of all kinds of things. Because of the cerebral palsy. Um, for the internet wise and the podcasting wise. But that's all I can say about that. That's a direct target for me wise. Because I talk about it. I mean, because I'm straightforward on people for people. Um, is that what you're looking for, Solid?
No, I mean, I'm not looking for anything. I'm just asking, why do you think that people catfish or they're internet trolls? I mean, if you okay, let's say you go to a party and you see a guy or girl that you want to talk to, but for whatever reason you feel like they're not going to talk to you, that you're not attractive, whatever. Um, so you go home and you look them up on Facebook and you find them and you set up a whole new profile for this person that you're not, but you think will attract the person that you like. And it does. So you're having this conversation with them, you're talking to them, you're meeting them, they're telling you, you get to the point where they're telling you personal stuff, you're telling them personal stuff about you, which a lot of it isn't true. You exchange photos and what have you, and you're using your sister, your brother, you have somebody else that you don't even know, you just took their picture off the web. Why do you do that? Why?
Cause
Well,
you ugly. That's you ugly. What you supposed to do? Solve it? What the
Oh,
hell?
come on, come on.
what I what I'm hearing is just catfishing, catfishing. I don't hear the internet troll because I what I hear an internet troll is go die. I mean like last night I heard somebody tell me go die off of stuff. That's some things that I hear. I mean I've said some things stuff too, but that's an internet troll. But I hear catfishing. Maybe this is not. Maybe I should get off the panel. I mean, but that's something internet troll. But maybe there is such. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I'm
and that is why the second part of my question I said is being a catfish the same as being an internet troll. So I'm asking that question. You don't think that it is. So for you, the answer is no. So
I guess yeah.
yeah,
Yeah no.
but to me, if you're going to be internet troll and they're going to come on and they're going to say something mean or nasty or do nasty things or spy or whatever, to me that's catfishing because they're coming on under an assumed name. But that's just what I think. That's just what I think. I think if you are on under an assumed name, catfishing could be trolling, and an internet troll could be catfishing, because either way you're not presenting who you are. You're under this fake persona.
Okay. Mhm.
So that's, and again, that's just me. So Chill.
My bad. I dropped the phone. Look, I'm telling you, catfishing and trolling is two different things. Catfishing is definitely, I mean, just the terminology of catfishing is somebody you dating that is not a person. So you're pretending to be somebody else. That's normally in a dating realm. Now, the thing is about this is if I'm ugly as hell and I'm trying to get somebody I think is beautiful, or sometimes like if I'm gay and I feel like I want to I have this love for somebody and I just want to share this intimate moment. I'm gonna get as much as I can before it come out, and hopefully they've fallen in love so much that I've swept them off their feet so much mentally that they're willing to overlook my or I just might be stuck in that realm and that's all I want. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to pull the trigger. But that's just it's insecurity. Like it's either one of it's insecurity. Even with a troll, like they don't have their own. They don't have a face to their name. It's just insecurity. You don't want people to really know what you think, what you are. You know.
Okay, okay, let me go back and look at some of these comments. Heichel says, I think the reason is insecure or cheating.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm a catfish. You
Rena
cheat me.
says, let's see, I'm sorry, I'm going up instead of down. Heichel says, I've watched a lot of Dr. Phil exposing catfishers. I mean, because again, I say, if you present yourself in a different persona, I just asked, what's the difference between trolling and catfishing? Because catfishers, they're presenting themselves a different way. That's something they're not. A troll is presenting themselves, as someone different. They're not going on saying, hey, I'm so and so, when they're really so. I mean, they're not telling their real names, and that's one reason why trolls, in my opinion, feel empowered, because they can come on and they can present themselves uh, in a different light, and they can say and do everything and then disappear, whatever.
Well, they're both deception, right? They're both deception-based things,
True.
but it's not the same. Catfish is a reference to dating. I mean, that's what it's known as, and that's where it came derived from, like
No,
being
I mean, I
on the
understand that,
internet.
and that's why my second question is it the same as being an internet troll? It was just a question that I asked, like, can you?
Yeah, no,
Yeah. So
I mean, it's in the same family. Like you got synonyms, right? So I think it's the same family, but yeah, that definitely is definitely different. Either way, it's I don't know. Both of them are. I mean, I could because you could troll, right, and not necessarily want to. It's different reasons. It might not even be insecurity. It just might be I don't want everybody to know who I am. You know what I mean? Just because I don't want them to know. Like I don't.
So
All right,
okay,
so
so if you wanted to say something nasty to someone, why not just go on and be yourself, and you're nasty under your own name, as opposed to having to make up another
hmm?
name to be nasty?
Well, I was thinking more like if I'm famous and I just want to be amongst commoners, I'll make up a different, you know, whatever to go amongst, and on the internet. You know what I'm saying? So I'll do that. Now, if you just want to be nasty, that's different. I mean, that's of course you're gonna put yourself. Why? What you mean? Why not go under your own name and be like a weirdo on the internet, nasty on the internet, so people can know that you're just an evil, nasty, mean person? No, of course they're gonna make up.
I have a response to that, but I'm gonna go to DJ Master first, and then I'll come back. Welcome, DJ. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Hello.
Yeah, hello?
I can barely hear you. Are you wearing headphones, or you're very,
Yeah,
very, 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 very faint?
I've got headphones.
Okay. I'm not. I mean, I'm literally. I hear someone talking, but I cannot. You are not clear. You're not. I can barely hear. So you may want to go out and come back in. Welcome, Frankie, Angie, and Crucible. Okay, so chill. Okay, so why would you want to say something nasty and under your name? So two questions. Why do you have to say something nasty anyway? Why do you have to come on and troll someone and be nasty anyway? And number two, what's the difference between a troll saying something, being themselves and saying something nasty, and the schoolyard bully who is in your face saying something nasty. I mean, if you're going to say something nasty and you think it's funny and you're trying to be all, big and bad and everything, why not let everyone know who you are?
Yeah, I get it. But what if I'm not big and bad and I want to play like I'm big and bad? The best way to do it is on the internet, and that's the thing. So I mean, I'm not big and bad at all. That's what it is. They're not big and bad, but they on the internet they are. I'm not rich, but on the internet I am. I'm not. Oh my gosh, I got. I'm not this, but watch me on Instagram. Like you can. I mean, I feel like if anything, it relates more to people in real life because I got fake hair, fake nails, fake everything, and then it's like, it's me. And when you wake up, I got catfish. Catfish been around for a long ass time.
Oh yeah, I mean catfish.
so,
Yes, I mean catfish has been
so
long around probably since the beginning of time. So
yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, that's just. I feel like and then people do that because they want to be in a better light. They want to be in a different light. They want to play. Sometimes they're just sick and they just want to play with people's emotions, or they just have a persona they want to portray, something they really want to say, and they don't have the courage to do that in person, because it's so violent or so cruel or so, people gonna not, it's gonna be it's gonna be polarizing, as you
Okay.
say.
All right. Well, Boz says trolls are immature and attention seeking, and catfish are insecure about their looks or something about their life they are embarrassed of. Welcome, Hilo. Um, okay, so DJ, let's see if we can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Very, very faint. Podbean, they did some upgrades, and it's just a lot of people come on to some shows, and you cannot hear them.
Well, how about this? If are you, I don't know what type of setup you have, but if you just have a regular headphones, you may have a mouthpiece that's not right by. If I don't know if you have a cord or just a cordless, so the mouthpiece might need to be by your mouth, or you take the phone. Sometimes the phone doesn't pick up from the earphones; they'll pick up from the bottom of your phone, and which is a mic as well, and you can put your phone up to your mouth, and you can hear yourself hear a lot better.
What about now?
Oh yeah, it's still the same. Or you may have to just disconnect and reconnect. It might be that simple as well.
So you're saying for him to disconnect his headset and everything and reconnect it?
Yeah, yeah. If he feels like he's in this vicinity of the microphone on which it's picking up, whether it's the phone or the headset. If not, just reconnect and disconnect and see if that works.
Yeah. Why don't you try that, because it's, again, like I said, it's really very, very faint. Um, Mama Bear Tracy says a troll is a bully and catfish is someone who wants something and shows different pics as well. Heiko says, to me, trolling is pranking and catfish is cheating. Huh. And Mama Bear says they are cowards. Thank you everyone for liking the show. That's interesting that you think that catfish are cheaters. Well, let me ask you this: could a troll also be a cheater? Just asking. Uh, DJ sounds like like Tom Thumb. Very, 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 very faint. Like does sound very, very small. Um, don't need headphones. And DJ, depending upon what you're on, you may not need headphones. So
Yeah, good point. Especially if we're muted, you don't
yeah,
necessarily
because as
need
long as
headphones.
everyone mutes themselves, you will not need headphones. So, because I know when I'm on different shows, I don't use headphones when I'm on my phone or my iPad. Okay, Crucible, welcome.
Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing today? Yeah, I guess what I'm always been perplexed about with when it comes to catfishing or any kind of misrepresentation of yourself particularly online. That's generally where it happens because you can be anonymous and nobody can see you, and you can make up whatever you want to make up. And I've done it myself. I mean, full disclosure, back many years ago when I was dating online, I would misrepresent things about myself fairly consistently. The one thing I would misrepresent was usually my age. And I was trying to date women who were much younger than me. And so I was, and I could probably pull it off for a little while, but there was a limit to it. And there's usually very brief encounters. These were not long-term relationships. So you can get away with some misrepresentation and some falsehoods in the short run. But if you're planning to do anything on a long-term basis with somebody, I've never understood the utility in misrepresenting things significantly if eventually you're going to be spending time around this person and they're going to figure out that you have not been truthful. So it's tempting in the short run. And I've actually got caught by it inadvertently. I was doing what I usually do. I was 5 or 6 years younger than I actually was. And as it turns out, I met this woman and we hit it off and we dated for 3.5 years. To this day, I don't know if she knows how old I am or not. She never figured it out. She never asked me. I think she put 2 and 2 together at one point, but she never called me on it. I was guilty. I felt guilt the entire 3+ years we were together. I would never, ever do it again. So I guess I was a victim. I'm not a victim of it. I was a perpetrator of it. And it didn't get me anywhere. So I guess I'm wondering, what is the end goal for catfishing people? Is it a short-term thing? Are they never planning to meet up with this person so they can hide behind their persona the whole time? I'm confused about what the end goal is with catfishing.
Well, catfishing, or if you're trolling, I mean, what is your end goal? If you are a troll, for the same thing for catfishing, and if you're a troll, what is your end goal? What do you want to do? So, and Crucible, I do have to ask you. So, after 3 years, in all those 3 years, why didn't you tell her? Why didn't you tell her your age? Crucible, you there? Okay, maybe he got a phone call. You there, Crucible?
I'm here. Sorry about that. I was muted. That's a good question. I was embarrassed, to be perfectly honest with you. And I thought I could pull it off. It was only a 5-year difference. It wasn't like I was saying it was 15 or 20 years or something like that where it would be obvious. But it was one of those things where I was planning to. I didn't think the relationship was going to go that long. She lived in a different city. So I figured, okay, this is only going to be a month, 2 months, something like that. And the longer it went on, the longer it ate at me. And then it reached the point where once it was 6 months, once it was 8 months, and then once it was a year, it was too late. I would have looked like a fool. I was really, we were in a, we were using the L word and whatnot by that point. So I was very fearful that she'd say, whoa, wait a minute, dude, you've been lying to me for the last year. And she just say, we're done. And I just, once you reach a certain point, there's no turning back. And you have to just live with it and hope you can get away with it. Or if you get caught and it blows up in your face, then you suffer the consequences. But I just wasn't willing after a certain point to make that admission because I would look like a complete fool. I have an idea she knew. She wasn't a dummy. Because we came up on my 50th birthday, and she made some comment to something like, do you have a milestone birthday coming up sometime soon? And I looked at her like, what are you talking about? So eventually I think she figured it out, but she was too nice to call me on it. So I kind of knew she knew, and it was our little wink wink secret, but I would never do it again. It's just not worth it.
Okay, I am going to move forward away from Crucible. I just have another question. So, if you're throwing out the love word, and let's just say you guys got to the point where you all actually got married. Would she still be thinking that you're 5 years younger than what you were? I mean, would it have gone to your deathbed that you were not the age that you were?
No, if we ended up getting married and it was a permanent thing, yeah, I would have come clean at that point because I probably would have had nothing to lose. But like I said, it was only a few years. It wasn't like I needed to do that necessarily. But the reason I did it was there was a 14-year age difference between us. I think she was 33 and I was 47, and I just thought she would freak out if she thought, "Holy shit, this guy could be my father." Not really exactly, but it was that was the reason I did it. If she were a couple years younger than me, I wouldn't have had to do it. But when you're trying to close a 14-year gap there, you try to get a little bit creative. But eventually, if we would have come to a permanent thing, yeah, I would have said something. I would have been filled with guilt too much not to say something, but it was such a silly thing that didn't need to be done. But again, I did it because I didn't think this was going to be a long-term thing. I thought this was going to be a one-night stand, to be perfectly blunt, and it wasn't. So you just never know how things are going to turn out. You get surprised, the next thing you know, holy crap, what am I going to do now? And granted, it probably doesn't happen that often, but I would rather be honest about things and let the person say, you know what, I'm not interested, and have a clear conscience, because it just isn't worth the guilt. You don't even really enjoy yourself because you're like, I'm a fraud. This person cares about me, and I'm lying to her. It was a very miserable mindset that I had for the time we were together. So it's just not worth it.
Well, I mean, if you're going to have that mindset, yeah, it's not worth it. Welcome, free conversation lovers, and welcome, Grid. So, Ziller, you want to comment
I
on
want to
what
comment
Crystal
on
said, or
Brina. What?
okay?
Why is it a difference between men? Why is it a men thing, or man thing?
Okay, I need to go back and see what
It's at the
Brina
bottom.
said. Okay, and welcome, JD. So, Brina says it's not a huge difference. I think it's different for men. Okay, so Brina, you think that men care more about, or they pay more attention to their age as opposed to women. Is that what you mean? Because women mature faster typically.
Oh heck no!
Okay, all right. But when you're when you're in your 40s and you're talking to someone in their 30s, I mean, if you're in your 30s and you're talking to someone, say 20 years older, to me, I mean, that is older, but it's not where people would necessarily look at you sideways because you're in your 30s. If you were in your 20s, people may look at you sideways. But if she knew, or if he knew that you're older than what you're presenting yourself as, I mean, apparently they were attracted to you for some reason, and they had to know that there was that age gap. So I don't know. Let's see. Bob says, would you consider hiding things like having children or being previously married or still married until your third, fourth, or fifth dates catfishing? Anybody? Would you hide that you have children or you were previously married or still married?
Yeah, for me, those are material things, and I'm not making excuses just because my lie was a more benign lie. That's a very subjective definition, but when you're getting into, because that was the only thing I misrepresented with this woman. Everything else I was truthful about, because when you're misrepresenting really material things like not having kids when you do have kids, or vice versa, not having been married before when you have been married, I mean, things that are, I think those get to more character issues. Again, I'm not trying to defend my lie, but was fairly innocent by lying standards. But I think when you get into the misrepresenting of material facts about your life, maybe where you went to school, where you grew up, things about your parents, marriage and children, those are really more character issues, and it shows some serious flaws of and some deep unhappiness with your life. If you're hiding things or misrepresenting things, you're embarrassed for some reason, and if you're going to misrepresent things like that in the beginning, there's probably a pretty good chance that's a slippery slope. You get into the habit of bending the narrative because you think you can get away with it, and it just never seems to end. And the more things you misrepresent, the more things you need to misrepresent in order to keep up with the story you've concocted. So if you're going to get into things like that, I think that's where character becomes an issue, as opposed to just saying, I'm 42 when I'm actually 47. I mean, I think if I had copped to that, she'd like, you're just stupid, you're silly, I don't care. But if I had copped to, by the way, I forgot to tell you I was married before and I've got 2 kids from if I told her that 6 months into it, then now she'd be like, okay, you're a dirtbag and we're done. And that would have been the right decision. So I'm not trying to split hairs on it, but I do think there's a line that gets crossed when you start to talk about significant things in your life that just aren't true.
Okay. All right. Now, let's see. JD says, question does not apply to me. I have no kids, never been married. So, Chill, what do you think about what Terry said, or you want to weigh in on something else? Are you there? Okay. And Boz says, what about women who wear tons of makeup and have fake lips, lashes, and breasts, etc.? Would you consider that catfishing? No. I mean, if they're still there, I mean, if it's still them, I mean, if it's still, I mean, if you're going out with Mary and Mary just has, tons of surgery, well, then, I mean, they are still them. I mean, if that's the case, then, are men turning their women into catfishers when they want them to go get boob jobs and what have you? So, so do men turn their wives or girlfriends into catfish when they want that stuff? Let's see. What else do we have here? I think it's definitely a form of catfish, especially when 14-year-olds can look 21. But if you're still that person, catfishing is when you're presenting yourself as someone you are not. When you're, you know, presenting yourself, with a fake name and a fake photo or whatever. If a 14-year-old can make themselves up, to look like they're 18 or 21, whatever, they just look older than what they really are. It's a lie if they pull it off and people believe that they're 18 or 21, but they're still, but usually those people are still, Mary is still Mary, so wake up next to someone completely different. That's not what I signed up for. Well, I mean, again, if your wife goes out and gets all the surgery done and that she's doing it, then you're going to wake up to someone that's different. The same thing with men. If men go out and they get all this stuff done, then your wife wakes up next to someone that this person's doing it. So I don't consider that catfish. I just considering it someone having plastic surgery that may go too far, may not go too far, and it's up to you as a couple if you're going to deal with it or like it, whatever. So I mean, I personally don't think that that's a form of catfishing. That's just them trying to enhance what they have or don't have or whatever. But that's just me. So okay. I'm going to settle down earlier than men do. Okay, so my next question, I'm gonna go back to the internet trolls. So, do you think that trolling, that when you are an internet troll, what is I'm asking, what is the end game? Is there an end game? Are people just doing it just to do it? Or do they have a specific reason for doing it?
Well, I think there's a specific reason. I think there are a lot of insecure people on the internet, and they can be somebody else. I think in a lot of cases they never intend to necessarily meet the person that they're catfishing, because depending on the extravagance of the misrepresentation, there comes a point where you simply can't meet that person face to face, depending on how far you've stretched the truth about your looks or your age or your personal situation, that when upon meeting somebody, they would immediately know that they've been lied to. So I don't think the end game is to actually meet the person you're trying to seduce or to catfish, because it's just an impractical end game. You're going to be found out. So I think it's a form of fantasizing. I think it gives people an alternate universe to live in. It gives them a chance to be who they may have always wanted to be. So I think it's a personal thing with these people. I don't think there's necessarily anything. It's a selfish thing that they're screwing with somebody else's life or somebody else's mind. That's a cruel and selfish thing to do. But I think they're doing it for their own personal gain, because it makes them feel a different way than their regular life makes them feel. But I don't think the intention is to ever meet the person, because I don't think it's possible to do that, depending on how badly you've misrepresented yourself.
Well, again, you're talking about catfishing. I'm asking about trolling.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
What is the end game for trolling? Is there an end game, or do these people just enjoy, going from show to show or whatever, or going on whatever, and they just troll? I mean, do they have an end game, or do they just have nothing better to do with their lives than to sit and stalk, troll, spy, whatever? That was my question.
Yeah, I think it's very similar. I think trolls are a different animal. I think catfishing might be a little bit more benign, but I think trolls are more malicious. I think it is spying. I think it's a subversive activity. I think there's something very sneaky about it, and I don't think anybody who trolls has pure intentions involved. What's the reason to troll somebody, unless, again, you're misrepresenting yourself, but you're trying to cause another person harm, however that might be. Usually not physical harm, but you're trying to undermine something, which is why you're anonymous. If what you're saying is true and you're proud of what you're saying, there'd be no need to troll. So I think trolling gets to a more insidious, harmful, damaging type of a thing, as opposed to catfishing. It's kind of splitting hairs, I guess, but trolling, there's a definite intent to harm when it comes to trolling. With catfishing, I think you can excuse it as a little bit more innocent, but trolling, I think, is done with a specific intent to hurt somebody.
Okay. I'm gonna come back to what you just said, but I just want to go through some of the comments. Angie says they are feeling something missing in their own lives when they feel the need to make someone else shitty. There is no end game for them. Okay. And she says, Angie also says, also, the more you buy into it, the greater the thrill for them. Grit says, makes them feel superior. Heiko says, catfishers can be scammers, sometimes steal your money. Yes, that's true. Sharon says, I think trolls are really sad and hateful, and is really harmful to the victim. And Grit says, trolls belong under the bridge. That's a good one, Grit. Trolls belong under the grid. Mr. B, great times. Welcome, welcome. The Thursday gang is almost here. Okay. Or as someone said to me the other night, the band is almost back together again. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Oh boy. So, you know, when you try to hurt someone, in catfishing, and yes, I do believe that trolls, are trolling because their intent is to do harm. They want to hurt you in some type of way. But I think catfishing, it also hurts because it hurts the person who, they're putting all this time and effort into someone that isn't real. So do you think that trolling, internet trolling or catfishing can end very badly? Do you think that, you know, it can just end not in the right way? And I don't mean you meet the person finds out, and then they get pissed, whatever, and then they curse you out, and then that's it. Do you think that they can take it further? And I'm going to throw one other component in for trans. Do you think that if someone who has changed their gender does not tell the person that they're going out with that they have changed their gender, is that catfishing? You go out with this person, you may be headed to a one night stand, or you had this one night stand and you want to have a second stand and a third stand. But then you find out later that this person changed their sex. Is that catfishing? So, Mr. B, welcome.
Thank you. I would say absolutely, because it's deceiving, and nobody likes to be deceived. So if the person catfishing, if they're really seeking for love and really want to be with that individual, they have to be honest with not just themselves but with the other person. Because if you base relationship on a lie, it's not going to last. It might seem like it's a good idea at the time, but after a while, that foundation is going to rock. Because every relationship, I don't care how good it is going to have ups and downs. But if it's on a good, if it's on good standing, you can handle the falls. It's like that song, "Sunny Days."
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's out them, but can you stand the rain?
Right. So, okay. So then let me ask this. People on the show have already said that they think catfish are people who, don't like their looks or whatever, something about them, and they present themselves to be someone else. They'll get another picture or whatever, they'll present it as someone else. I'm going back to the transgender thing, and I might get some transgender people upset with me, but this is just for sake of conversation. So, why do you think that a transgender male or female would not tell the person that they're going out with, the straight person that they're going out with, that they were trans?
Maybe I wouldn't say embarrassment, but maybe thinking it's not that important. So
But
I
if
talked to another person. I talked to one person about it before, and this is what they said. They said like, "Well, if the person loves me, they should love me for who I am."
but they don't know
And so,
who
okay,
you are if you're hiding things, right?
yeah, exactly. But I'm saying some people on the point of view is like it shouldn't matter. I'm saying it does matter, but some people saying it doesn't matter. Like, well, you fell in love with me, it's nothing changing. I'm still the same person, but they don't see it as deceiving.
So
What I'm saying is, some people are so good lying they lie to themselves.
that's a very good point, Mr. B. Very, very good point.
But
Very
they
good.
know, don't they?
Very,
What did you
very
say, Shell? I
good
couldn't
point.
hear you.
But they,
Cheryl, can you repeat?
yeah, no, I was not. My bad. Go ahead, my bad.
But yeah, I mean, you can lie to yourself sometimes. Everybody else knows the truth, but you're lying to yourself. I knew somebody I didn't know personally, but I rode this bus, and this guy. You can tell he was a guy, but when he was younger, he dressed like a woman, whatever, because he want to be a woman, whatever. He had a date and everything, and they went They went to the apartment, the guy's apartment, and when it was time to get to the shebang bangs, the guy grabbed and said, "Oh snaps, what's this?" And he grabbed a gun and shot the man. Now the man's paralyzed. I'm not saying it's funny. I'm not saying it's a good thing to do. All I'm saying is they both put himself in danger because he played with people's emotions. That's not good. Insanity is a word for a reason. Insanity.
Very good point. Very, very good point.
Yeah, I've read other to Mr. B's point there. I was about to say the same thing. I've read the articles where the exact same scenario unfolded, and it did not turn out well. And I think I'm stereotyping a little bit here, but I think if a woman were to find herself in a similar situation, and again, this is wild speculation, but she might be a little bit more understanding. I'm not saying she wouldn't be mad or anything, but a lot of men they've got very very strong feelings about homosexuality, particularly male homosexuality. They're probably indifferent about female homosexuality, but there's a lot of men who are very threatened by it. And to Mr. B's point, when they find out what is actually going on and they're with a man instead of a woman, there's something like you just said, it's insanity. Something snaps because of the whole how dare you be so presumptuous. And I've read these interviews with people, and they say, well, why would you do that, knowing, like when Mr. B said, the shebang bang time comes, you're going to be found out. And the answers that these people gave were just bizarre. It's like, well, I thought once he got to know me, it wouldn't be an issue. Once we spent a couple hours together and he got to know my personality, he'd be okay with the fact that I'm not actually a woman. And I'm thinking to myself, are you out of your freaking mind? But that was the rationalization. They actually thought that they could smooth it over when it came time to, get down to business. And I think men, there is something inside of them that when they think about how they might have been lured or deceived into being with another man, there's a lot of men who just completely lose their minds and get very violent. So I'm not understanding what that psychology is because, like you said, once you get back to the apartment and it's time to go, things are going to be found out. But what kind of a mindset must you have to say, well, yeah, I'm just going to smooth it over. I didn't tell him I actually have a penis, but once he gets to know me, it'll be cool. There's something bizarre about that kind of line of thinking, but it happens a lot.
So let's move on to people with children, either women with children or men with children, however you want to put it. Do you think that when you're
Hold on,
dating,
hold on, hold on,
when,
hold on, Solomon. How you just gonna pass me up?
well, I came to you before and you didn't say anything.
No.
And I'm not talking about when you just passed with Mr. B. I've come to you and you have not said anything. You had not even answered the microphone. So I'm thinking that you're doing something else. So, okay, chill. Would you like the mic?
You see how she just cussed me out without cussing me out, y'all? I'm a glutton for pain. But no, cause I knew I was gonna get that. I knew she was gonna lash out, y'all. I set myself up.
Oh, Lord.
This is how we do on this show. No, well, to be honest, it's the transgender thing is a real thing. I think most of them will come out and let you know though. Like you, like on Tinder, like on something like that, they'll let you know. Like I've been in, on Tinder it's easy to act like you're a woman. You hit them up and they be like, "Yeah, I'm a man." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." I'm like, "Thank you." Like it's just easy to look like a woman on the internet. Like I've been in the best places and been able to tag them, but you can't see the neck of the voice, the hands and the feet on the internet all the time. So people let you know. And if people who do that opposite, like they just think you're gonna fall in love with them and it won't matter. But they may have an idea that you may be funny or something, or they can sway you. You know what I mean? They may they may feel like you, like you know, I maybe get flipping. He has pastels and he has he crosses his legs or something. Whatever they use as a gaydar or maybe like however what you want to call it. Not just however they got signs. Hey, he eats on his left side and he winks with his right eye. Like, yeah. So I'm gonna try him, see where it goes. and they just may have actually, they may just think that you may be one way, and then they go on a couple of dates with you. And it don't matter until you go there with them. You know what I mean? They want to get to know you. They want them to be like, see, I'm awesome. I used to have a penis. How do you feel about it? You know what I mean? Like if it's actually a penis though, that's different. Like a woman with a sex change would probably go on a couple of dates with men, or sometimes I know I've heard of a woman not saying something, which I can't imagine you wouldn't know that, and especially with a woman, like I do wouldn't know. I guess I would never know, but that's just unfathomable. You know what I'm trying to say? That's just not even a thing. Like but if you were there and the person likes you, a lot of times people do whatever they need to do to get to where they want to be in your good graces. So play the play it as long as you can, so you can't no more. At least enjoy the time being, and then when it blows up in your face, oh, seen that coming, just move on. They're used to it. It can be to be spiteful as well. I mean, if you're just mad at the world, mad at all men or something, and
Oh, all right. Um, I'm gonna get back to my other question, but I'm gonna read the comments some. Angie says, also, you don't know what the mental state of someone you're messing with. Boz says, are there laws against catfishing with underage and trans? There could be real problems. That's selfish and mean if a trans does that. Angie says, I almost choked. What did you call it? Getting getting to the what? Talking about Mr. B. The bang, the goods. Okay, the fun and dirty. All right. I thought you said smang bangs. I did. Okay, Heiko says, the more I lie, the more I put myself in trouble with my experience in life. Mr. B says it's all called the same. It's all the same time. Chill. Will you chill? Chill. Will you chill? Okay. Let's see. Don't drop the soap, guys. Is what Grid says. Angie says, what's he muttering about? I think he's talking about you, chill. Okay.
who said
Okay.
that? Who said that?
Angie.
Mm.
I'm just playing with folks, Mr. B says, and that's it. Okay. Angie says to Mr. B, you're naughty. Okay. So when you meet someone and you're out and about, wherever you meet them, in a park, a club, a pub, wherever, um, usually when you meet someone, if you want to take it further, you may ask for their phone number, you switch numbers or, whatever. But if you know that it's going to go further, okay, if you know that, and I don't mean if you're going to have an intimate time with them that same night. I'm saying if you know that you want to see this person again, this is someone that you like, and they like you, and it can turn into something more. If you have children on either side, male or female, and you have children, when do you introduce the children into the equation? Whether they are grown children, whether they're teenagers or young children, when do you think you should introduce them into the relationship or the friendship, whatever you want to call it? And do you think that for some people who don't say that they have children, they think that that's going to be a deal breaker? But on the same time, if you don't say anything, that could be a deal breaker too, because people will think that you're hiding something. And welcome, Dina Joe.
Okay, I got a good one for this one. I won't. Well, I'm married now, but when I was dating in my early years, um, I wouldn't. I wouldn't even talk to my child about it at all. I wouldn't introduce them until I felt that like it was a serious relationship. Because let's say you bring the child to the person and they like each other, whatever, friends, whatever, and then it doesn't work out. And then the child's, where's such and such, where's such and such. It'll just bring more confusion, I
But are
think.
you telling the person you're dating about your child?
Oh yeah, I'll tell them I have 20 kids first. Absolutely. Because if they can't handle that, then they can't handle me.
Okay.
So you saying that you got 20 kids and you just gonna drop it on us like that and everybody get quiet and shit? You said you got 20 kids. I'm about to just, y'all not about to just let that go. I understand that was 20 kids.
Well, I dated a girl, a woman. She had 6 kids.
And so you had
I
14, so
was
you equated to
I'm
20.
joking. I have one. She had 6. What I'm saying is, you should have to tell the person. But if they're like, "Oh no," you gotta give the person uh, uh, a heads up because they might not like kids. So you have to
Well,
tell them.
do you think the number of children you have could also in everything, like as opposed to
Oh
this
yeah,
having one
absolutely.
as opposed to having 3 or 2 or 4?
Yeah, absolutely. Because a person might have a job and they say, I can only support 3 more kids comfortably. After that, kids are expensive. Or maybe the person, I can handle so many kids and that's it. And that's okay. It's about being honest. Because what's the point of building this wonderful relationship and then the person say, "Oh, by the way, I have 1 kid," and the other person like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't like kids. I don't want no kids at all," and they spent 2 years
Well, that
pretty much
happened all the
wasting time.
time, right?
Which is why I'm saying that's why they need to tell the person. And here's the thing: you can't be afraid to tell some important information about your life. It doesn't mean you gotta show them the kid and like, here you go, this is such and such. You don't gotta do all that, but you gotta tell what's important in your life. Like, I go to church, that's important to me. I have
Okay.
I have kids, that's important. Whatever. So what's
Okay.
important in your life, you gotta share it.
So, okay, chill, go on.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, what if I got an ugly kid and I just don't like want nobody to see my?
Oh,
No,
Lord
I'm
have
just saying.
mercy. Lord,
Oh
Lord,
man,
Uh,
no.
Lord.
But look, like this is the thing, right? Y'all know this is the thing. Like dudes are live when they on they everything when it comes to kids, just because they feel like they want this woman so bad. And if you got kids, or if you know she don't like kids up front, she like I don't date nobody with kids. But this is your
right.
perfect dream woman, not Mr. B. You 21-year-old Mr. B, handsome, strapping, young, healthy male, and you met I don't know what is it, J Lo, Beyonce, whatever it is, Halle
Right.
Berry in the flesh, and she said, I don't like kids. You got 1 kid. You might want to you might not even take care of shit. You might just want to all right, can't nothing happen. You know what I mean? But might as well need to go ahead. He laughed because he know what he gonna do. Now I know what you
Well,
gonna. I know
well,
what you
I'm
gonna
just
do.
I'm just
You
saying.
gonna dip in that. You gonna dip in that water at least for as long as you can
Chill.
till she
But
see.
depends how she asked. She said, "Do you have any kids?" I'm like, I have no kids with me right now. And so yeah,
But,
See what I mean? See what I
oh,
mean?
Lord have mercy. See, boys
Let's
will be
come on. Let's
boys.
come on with it.
Boys will be
yeah.
boys.
Let's
You
get off
know,
this soapbox now. Come on, we gonna come with it.
I will say that when I was
Uh,
younger, in my 20s, even in my 30s, because I didn't get married until I was 35, I would not date men that had kids. I would not do it. I did not want to do it.
Oh, you was one
And
of them.
yeah, I was one of them. And one main reason was because I did not want to have to deal with the mother. And because I was always of the, feeling that whether you're dating a man with children or a woman, whatever, you got to deal with their significant ex. And I did not want to deal with that. I didn't want to get into a relationship with someone where their child's, is coming around, and then, you tell them, don't do that or something. You can't tell me what to do. You're not my. I was not going to deal with that. So I was one of those. Angie said something I wanted to ask you guys about. I gotta find it because I've been looking at the chat. Okay, she says I wouldn't hide that I got kids. They are a part of me. Okay, so okay. Who was the one who said that that should be? Was Brina? Was that you? Who said that children should be on the first page of the profile? Who said that? But anyway, okay. So if having children should be on the first page of your okay, that was Greg. He says that should be on your front page profile. Okay, so if that should be on your first page profile, going back to the trans, should being trans be on your front page?
And I feel like normally it is. If you, like I said, if you scrolling through Tinder or something like that, it'll say that like in their profile. They'll say something like that typically. Like, if you're if it's a dating site or something like that. I mean, that's not, if it's Facebook. No, it's just Facebook. It's not necessarily a dating site. I ain't gotta put it. It's the thing is, like, it ain't none of your business. That's a real thing. It ain't none of your damn business. You know what I'm saying? So for instance, Angie said I saw someone for a few years, but it was long distance. I never introduced my kids to him. It was kind of like she knew it wasn't going nowhere, so I didn't bring him into the situation. So that's not necessarily lying. It's just not bringing him into the situation. You're just gonna get Halle Berry for a couple of years, then you're gonna throw her to the side when you finish with her. That's what happens. So
Finish with
I'm
her,
just saying,
chill.
Mr. B.
Sheesh, good lord.
Mr. B. I'm just saying with Mr. B, 20-year-old. We talking about 21-year-old Mr. B.
Hold on now. You keep my name out of your mouth now. I'm over here listening.
No.
Come on
He
now.
like, all right,
My name.
don't put me in there.
Oh boy, I was waiting for him to come up
Oh
there. So
man.
crazy lady says that children, they are not a footnote. Uh and crazy lady says, chill, don't be a tool.
Oh, okay,
Shy
all right.
lady's laughing, and that was brilliant. Hi Angie, been brick banned. I don't know what Beano means by that. Welcome Joshua Faraday and Woody Bush. Did I say welcome to Woody Bush already? Angie wants to know what brick band is, and I don't know what brick band is. When I dated the guys, Crazy Lady says, when I dated the guys knew, but very few. I dated the guys new, but very few meet them. I dated the guys. Okay,
Can we just put question marks on some of the
you know,
questions? I'll be okay with that.
but at least you're honest, solid, and know what you want. Nothing wrong with that. Dina, I try to be as honest and as straightforward as I can. Some people say that I'm too blunt, but I always want people to know this is what I said up front. So don't come back and have your feelings hurt because you said this. I told you up front, so you knew what you were getting. Okay,
Who's
Woody
smoking a
Bush
blunt?
said being trans should be. Let's see. How about question marks? Mr. B says, okay. Angie says, see, my sister mine thinks I wouldn't put I had kids at that point. What if it's some weirdo looking for someone with kids? True. This is true. But I'm saying if you meet someone that you like and you want to move forward and you've dated this person, I think at the third date, when do you start to divulge more of your personal life? So
But what if they don't like kids? I want to hear y'all
well then
say.
okay, but if they don't like children, then I think that they should say or ask you, do you have
So
children?
you gonna leave it up to
And
them? Solid. So let's. All right. I want to ask you a question. You met Shamar Moore or what? Like Underwood. What's his name? Whoever it is for you?
don't say Blair Underwood. We can stay with Shamar.
Okay. Because you must have some sound like that. All right. Well, gonna
Yeah,
keep on going.
Shamar.
Shamar Moore, and he's like there, right there. You got a
Mm-hmm.
baby though. You know he don't like kids, but you know what? You fell in love like in the
Okay,
first
okay.
week.
Hold on. Is this the first date? Second
Oh, this
date?
is the
The third?
first 2 weeks. I ain't gonna make you. I'm gonna put you in a decent. Come on now. We got 2 weeks, 3 weeks down the road. Y'all done
Okay.
had great time. Y'all done went on 4 dates, and y'all already spent a weekend together, and it's great. And he's just everything you thought he would be.
But he
This
doesn't
is
like
one
kids.
thing. You got a kid, and they had been at no band camp, and he don't even know that. But you just in this situation, is you gonna get some first? How you gonna? Before you gonna take? You gonna get you some first?
No, actually, I would divulge that I have a child.
Oh,
I would, because the bottom line is
gosh.
my child's gonna come first, and I'll just have to live in my fantasy. My head'll have to live in my fantasy, but
But if
I
you
gotta
rock his
stay.
world, this is what I'm saying. You rock his world. He might be like, you know what, girl? I don't care. You got kids. You got a dog. You got
But
you.
I would
But
still have to let him know that I have a child, and he has
but
to decide from that point if he wants to continue on with the relationship or not. I have to put the ball in his court.
right. But that's after you woo him though. Like you gotta blow his mind. So that's what I'm saying. That's where people at with it. You feel like you blow their mind, and then they could just be like, you know
No,
what?
no,
No, no,
no,
no, no,
no,
no,
no,
no, no,
no.
no, 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 no. See, I for me personally, if I meet someone and if I like them right off, I'm going to um uh let them know that I have a child, and that's right out the gate.
I don't know. I feel like y'all
I
y'all just
chill,
saying
dude.
this.
I have children. I dated when I was single. And trust me, that's like within like the first few conversations. Hey, check it out. I have kids. Now, I didn't introduce all the guys I dated to my children. Actually, very few of them, got to that point. But, I mean, yeah,
I mean, of
it
course
was
you're gonna
it
tell
was
them you
quite a
got
while
kids. I'm
before
just saying if
it
you
was
don't
quite a
know
while
though.
before a guy knew where I even lived because hello, if I'm dating, that means I am a single female. That's just not safe. You can't let every Tom, Dick, and Harry know where you live either. But that's irrelevant. I mean,
Okay, I got you. I got you. And remember, I'm just thinking like if you know up front they don't like kids.
now I
That's
had a
all.
couple of guys that I dated. They were fun to hang out with, and okay, yeah, they were kind of a booty call. I'm not gonna lie, but
Well, why they need to know you got kids? And so you may end up in a situation
no,
where you ain't told them.
he knew I had kids.
I'm saying,
He knew I had
but that's
kids.
different then. Like you, I mean, that's different.
But he never engaged with my kids. He never asked. I never divulged information. It was a booty call. Hello.
So okay, so guys, let me ask this: is there a difference if you're the age, if you have adult children as opposed to younger ones? I mean, do you think that makes a difference in letting someone know that you have kids?
It does to me. I mean, if my child's 31, he's not a child no more. So
Right? I have a grown man child. Yeah. Well, they're always your children, so
Oh, I
they
can
don't
tell
get a
you that
vote. They don't get
without
to
a
vote
doubt.
on who I see. But
It's
No, I
real
mean, I'm not
different.
saying voting on who you see, but I'm saying, are you going to
they may have to put up with them once in a while.
are you just gonna let them know that I have kids?
Yeah.
My son is 30, my daughter's
21. Yeah.
25, whatever. Are you just going to let
Yeah.
them know the same way as you would say my son is 10 and my daughter's 2? I mean, does the age make a difference whether or not, or how fast you let
Yeah.
someone
It might
know?
make a difference, versus kids you still got to raise and kids that are grown adults and got to have their own lives. Versus
Okay.
run
Yeah, I
around
could
the
tell you
house
a story
naked,
about
or
that.
can you not run around the house naked?
Okay. Now, Bob says when you date, intentions aren't really spoken of anymore. Like nobody says on the first date, I want kids, marriage, etc. Or why disclose anything until you know it's going somewhere. But you don't, I mean, but that first date to me, I
But
mean,
I haven't dated in
you
16
have
years
to,
though.
well, I'm just saying that when you meet someone, you kind of know after you spend an evening with them whether or not you want to go, you wanted to go further, or unless you're going to sit there and say, boy, she's really an asshole, or he's really an asshole. I mean, that first date is going to pretty much tell you, or, if you want to spend time with that person. I mean, so I would say that the second time, you're, getting phone numbers and stuff like that, I say the sooner the better to let people know a little bit more about yourself, because like you said, people may not like kids. People, they may find out that you live in another state. That could be an issue. I mean, there are so many things, that the other person may not be able to deal with.
Yeah, especially. I mean, the young and grown thing is a thing, though. Just to answer that real quick, I just know for sure. Then, like you're right, you don't even know. Like I don't tell nobody nothing at the first date too much. I mean, besides me being me and telling them how I am, maybe I really just want to see if we can, or we, it is a chemistry. Can we just talk and chill out and laugh and how they take me before I just start opening up, because I might not even like you for you to know nothing about me, and I take my personal, you know, it's mine, so that's a privilege to know that, for me to give it to you, that's a big deal for me. So, but with kids, it doesn't matter if a woman got a grown kids or she got a 5-year-old at home, that's a big difference because number one, both of them could be at the house, and then there's that makes two different scenarios. A kid is fine, but if it's you got a grown ass 25-year-old woman looking at Sweet Willie on the couch, like, hey, what I'm saying? I'm like, this is uncomfortable because that's a true story. Like I'm like, damn, man, it if she coincidentally is way finer than her mama, and it's like, oh, I got to go because this can't be going right now. This ain't a good thing. So you got to get out of there. Like, or in general, like when I want to come over your house at night, she ain't living with you. One gonna be living with you, but if she's 25, 30 years old, and hopefully they're out the house, and you can just go over there and y'all can do whatever, and you ain't really raising nobody kids. They grown already, so you might have to meet them, but that's it. So it's definitely a different scenario in general, depending on how you. And I've been all through all kinds of type. Me being like 35 to 40, that mean you can date up, date down, and yeah, you'll find yourself
Run
in
around
some
the
rare
house naked
positions.
versus not run around the house naked.
There you go, there you go. But if her 25-year-old or her 28-year-old, 30-year-old daughter popping in, whoops, my bad. What I'm saying, that ain't cool. That ain't cool. That she might feel some kind of way.
Okay, so we talked about this on a previous show, and I know the conversation has changed, but again, you are meeting someone that you like. How much of a turnoff is it if I'm bringing up family? Their family is constantly in the mix, just there. Every time you turn around, their family is just there. Is that something that you would be able to deal with, knowing that if you all got married, that their family would constantly be there? Or would you have to say, I'm sorry, I can't do this? Crucible?
Well, there's the old saying that, when you get married, you marry the family. So that's a dicey one. I don't think you have a lot of choice. I personally wouldn't be comfortable with a woman who had to have their family around all the time. I understand. I would prefer a woman who's close with her family. That's extremely important. So if I had to pick one or the other, a woman who was too close with her family and they were around all the time versus a woman who was alienated or estranged from her family, I'd pick the former than the latter. But I would not be comfortable with every time we do something, my sister and my brother-in-law are going to be there, or my parents are coming also. There's got to be a line someplace that you can have your own time, because there's no privacy when you're constantly around somebody's family. So that might be a red flag for me in terms of how they make decisions, what their judgment is. If they always feel like they have to have a family member there or something, you might start to wonder, okay, why is that? Are you uncomfortable with me, or are you that close with your family that you guys are just happen to be inseparable? So that might be a little bit of a red flag to me, because you get kind of how people's judgment are and whatnot. But just a real quick story. I was in my 20s, and I met a woman in a bar, and we went back to her place, and she was considerably older than I was. I think she was 13 years older, and we went to bed and whatnot. And the next morning, she had a child. She told me she had a child. I think it was 6 years old or something, and it completely caught me off guard. At one point, we were laying in bed together, and she's like, "Would you?" Tells the kid, 6-year-old kid, "Go down and get us some orange juice." And it was so awkward. It was so weird. I never saw her again, and I liked her, but I thought, if you're going to have your 6-year-old child in the room with us in this kind of a situation where we don't even know each other, and you're asking this child to go down and get water or orange juice and stuff and bring it back up, I thought, this woman has horrible judgment. She's very selfish. She does not know where the lines are drawn. She doesn't know boundaries. This poor kid, how many times has this happened to this kid? And I ran screaming in the other direction because I thought it was a horrible lapse in judgment. And what else are you making poor decisions about? So I think early on, you can kind of get a sense of how people operate by how they make decisions with their family. And that was a huge red flag. And like I said, I never saw her again, but it just depends on the situation. But too much family can be a very distracting thing.
Okay, I want to read what Dina Joe says. Me personally, I wouldn't want to waste my time on someone whom did not have the same interests as me, kids, dog, etc. And Brina says the same, that she feels the same as Dina Joe. Grit says, I would let my date know straight up that I have a sheep, 7 chickens, 2 cats, and a goldfish. And Grit, I have seen your sheep chase, I'm assuming, your children in that video. Okay. Let's see. Won't go hungry. Exactly. Oops, didn't mean that. Okay. Ninja Bunny says, I think you should always divulge if you have children, younger or grown. I think you're absolutely right. I agree. And Joshua Faraday says, guys, I am leaving you. Join you guys another time. Thank you, Joshua, for stopping in. Crazy Lady says, I don't think I ever had a stranger date. It wouldn't bother me. My dad walked into my house anytime if he drove the 15 miles to do it. Boss says, guys are horrendous at spotting red flags for obvious reasons. I think women sometimes are poor judge of character. And if he showed up in the morning, he would just be funny in his own mind. Okay, talking about your dad. First is orange juice. Next is grabbed a condom. That's what Boss says. Okay. Let's see. I have dated guys that was fun, but not around my kid, but not kid material. Okay. So they didn't hang out with my kids. And Mr. B says milk and cookies, Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac. So yeah, welcome, Aaron. So this has been interesting. So the conversation changed, but we were able to talk about catfishing and trolls and now dating, and we threw Shamar Moore in there. That was cool. But for me, again, just going back real quick, for me, for catfishing and internet trolls, to me, they're basically the same thing. And to my trolls, I know who you are. I know who you are. So just letting you know. Stewie Griffin says, Brina, I was in Lou Rock show. It's on music, but I wanted to take a look around. Popping here. So yeah, I'm awesome. Like, okay, Morgan Freeman, awesome. Okay. And Crazy Lady says, now I know what catfishing is. All right, so Mr. B, did you want to say something? Because I would like to say something to the boys.
Yeah, talking about catfish, I just want to say I like hush puppies and tartar sauce with my catfish. That's all I wanted to say. That's it.
Oh boy, you guys are funny. So, addressing the guys from last Thursday's show, which is Grid, Chill, Mr. B, who else was here? Ba. Thank you guys for handling the show and continuing the show. I've had a lot of downloads on that one, and I went back to watch it again, and it was funny. I enjoyed it. And Mr. B, your comment when you said, did Solid just hang up on us something that she said she didn't do? Oh, and Caps was also here, and Grid, your rendition of my line, "Go where the wind takes you." So when the school marm is out of the classroom, the students, they take over. But you guys did a good job, so thank you very, very much. So on that note, does anyone else have anything they want to say? What?
Always
Science?
remember to deep fry your catfish. That's all I'm saying. You gotta fry it good. I can't stand people who cook it and don't cook it right. You're gonna cook catfish, deep fry it.
Yes, you do have to deep fry catfish.
That's all I got.
Okay, Jill, you want to say anything?
I miss me some catfish. I'm serious. Ross don't
See,
like catfish.
see
There's no
now,
catfish around here.
now we've turned this into into the Food Network. Oh boy, Crucible or Chill, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, I guess real quick, the internet is just this whole trolling and catfishing thing is just another example of the double-edged sword that is the internet. Now, I know people were catfishing and maybe not the same way. They've been misrepresenting themselves and lying about themselves from the beginning of time. So it's not a new concept. The internet makes it easier to do it. But another example of the internet, being a wonderful, wonderful tool, but also a tool for harm. And it's like anything else in life; it depends on how you use it. But people are not trolling and catfishing because of the internet. That's been around forever. I think the internet just is another example of you can use it for good or you can use it for ill. But it's changed the way we interact with the rest of the world forever. But it's not misrepresenting yourself. It did not come with the internet. It's been around forever. It just makes it easier.
Well, once again, whether you're catfishing or if you're an internet troll, I think you have issues. I think you have issues, and you might need a little therapy there. But you're either lonely or you're a bully, or you don't like who you are, whatever. So you have to present yourself in a different way. So. But that's just me. So I'm just looking at some of these comments. You guys are talking to each other. Okay. Okay. You think Stewie is a catfish? Yeah, we do have catfish in my shows. Yeah, we have a big one, but it's all good because I know who you are. So on that note, guys, enjoy the rest of your day or your evening wherever you are in the world. And yes, I'm going to say it. Go where the wind takes you, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye. Thank you, Chill, Crucible, the only crazy lady, Mr. B, Ziller, for coming up, and DJ, Mixmaster. I know you're not on anymore, but I'm sorry you were not able to get your sound fixed. And everyone else, Heiko, Crazy Lady, Bob, Grid, Rena, Ninja Bunny, Angie, Our Girl, Frankie, Shy Lady, all of you, thank you. Okay, y'all, so enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.